A&E has a new home renovation design series. It's called Betting Big. It's betting big to prove American Dream is alive and well. And it's called Betting on Beloit. Today I have series star Konya Hendricks Schuh. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. And yeah, I know you have a very busy schedule. I know you do. So the
That's
first
okay.
question I got to ask you is this, Konya. Beloit, Wisconsin. Why did Wisconsin say it was one of the worst cities to live in?
Well, I don't agree with that. But yeah, USA Today voted Beloit one of the worst cities to live, I think more than once actually. And it does not deserve that title. I've lived here my whole life. It's an amazing place to grow up, raise a family, work, and we love our community. So I don't know, but that's why, we're doing this show is to really show the world and show the country and just hopefully change the narrative on, the town that we love so much.
You know, what's very interesting to me, the area that you were talking about, first of all, we're talking about 721 Park, is that correct?
That's our first project in the series. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the first project, and I got a chance to see that episode. So you got in there and you saw this home and you had this vision about it. Tell us how that got started.
Well, our whole mission is to find the worst houses in the neighborhood that really no one else wants to touch. So that house stood out on that particular block. I mean, it honestly, it looked like it was a haunted house. It just looked, it had been abandoned and it was just, falling into, total decay. And I saw a building permit actually on the door that was expired, like someone had started a renovation. So I reached out to that guy, and yes, he got in way over his head. So anyway, so that's where we bought the house and took over.
So how do you see that whole neighborhood changing? What are some of the things you want to see happen in that community?
Well, the neighborhood is just very mixed bag. I mean, we have homeowners that have a lot of pride in their homes and, just take great care of them. And then we have a lot of houses that really are not habitable and, are in really rough shape. So we're just trying to, the houses, most of the ones that we take on are not habitable, like I said. So no one's living in them and they're just, rodent infested. And we step in and help revitalize that neighborhood.
You
So,
know,
nobody, go ahead.
no, I was going to say it's interesting to me, and what I really like about what you're doing is I wish we could take what you're doing and do that with other segments of other major markets because they have huge problems. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's hard. I mean, even in our size community, Beloit has, I believe, 36,000 people. So, not a huge city. And it is hard to make an impact and make that change, a visual change that our hope is just to give pride, to residents and hopefully draw in new people to Beloit to put down roots here. But yes, our story is not unique to us. Absolutely. There are a lot of cities like Beloit that were, factory towns and have, gone through some hard times. So
What I like most about was your passion and the work that you were doing, because even in my market in St. Louis, in the community that I grew up in, it has gotten so bad there. It's just crazy. And at one point in my life, I said, you know what? I produce a TV show, but somebody said, you know what? You would be a great developer because you know how to produce and get things done. So I'm looking at
do it.
you and saying that passion that you have in making Beloit a better community. I wish we could see that in other cities. Maybe you should go on tour.
I need a clone. I need a clone. But I mean, I love St. Louis has so much to offer as well. It's just tricky. And that's why, I think to have the impact, you have to kind of start small. We're really focused on one neighborhood, needless to say, there's other areas in Beloit that could use some assistance as well, that are in kind of a similar predicament. But to have that impact, we're just focused on this historic neighborhood for now. Who knows what the future will bring? Maybe we'll tackle a different neighborhood, a different part of town. But I think that's how you really see the impact is to start small.
Speaking of starting small, we're talking with Konya Hendricks Schuh. We're talking about a new series on A&E called Betting on Beloit. Again, I think the most impressive thing to me is your passion for what you're doing, and it's very infectious. Let's put it that way. Very infectious. Konya, thank you so much for joining us on the show. And I love your energy on there, and I love your mindset. It is great.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too now.